Folks, welcome back to So Bad It's Good. Today, we have two queens who have not only made a huge impression on Housewives, but have managed to thrive in whatever they set their minds to. Crystal Minkoff is known for her run on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, but also is the founder of one of the biggest coconut waters on the market, on top of having the most Labubus known to man. And Cynthia Bailey is a Housewives legend and seems to be on every show known to man right now, including Atlanta and Hulu's Got to Get Out. Together, they have formed the podcast Humble Brag, which is part of Nick Vile's network, Envy, I believe. And it's one of the best podcasts because it involves housewives, of course, but what I love about it is that it's like real relationships. You sense the bond between them and anybody that they talk to, so you feel like you are with friends. And so today we are here with two friends. Please welcome Crystal Minkoff and Cynthia Bailey.
Yay!
Wow.
Thank you for having us.
I feel like this is a vision board moment for me because, first off, I've known you for a while and I've gotten to know you better. But before that, I was big fans of both of yours. How did this even come to be of you working together?
Oh, okay. I'll let you tell the story.
Okay. I've been thinking about doing a podcast for quite some time. People had told me like maybe this is for you, and I was like, okay, I'll think about it. And I thought I have so many stories to tell, and it was like frustrating being on Housewives because, you're very limited and the stories are guided based on the cast. It's not really what's happening in your real life. And I was heading down the path of doing one. And I thought I really wanted a partner. And I don't know. Cynthia was
fifth or sixth on the list. Was she?
This is not Jeff Lewis.
Jeff's rubbing off on me. Right? No, I mean, like, how did it come that Cynthia was the person that you went to?
Well,
I was the only person.
I had a big list in my mind, but thinking of different people, and we had been seeing each other actually a lot over those few months, just kind of naturally, and we always had a great rapport, and we had very similar values and what we wanted out of the show, what we wanted to bring to the show. So I was like, it would be great to have a perspective from someone that understood what I went through, but really our real lives are so much more interesting. And so I asked her to marry me. She said yes.
It's very important when you get married in the podcasting world.
Yeah.
That's you. Wait, Cynthia, was there any trepidation for you to actually team up with Crystal on this?
For like 5 minutes. Like when, although I've spent some time with Crystal, like her personality, like she kind of gives like this very, like, I thought like, okay, it's just super structured and like over prepared, overthinker, like all of the things. So I was like, shit, this is
smart.
like a serious, smart as hell.
I have to bring my A game.
Wait a minute. Like, I don't know if I can step up to this because I just thought like it was going to be this serious thing. And I'm not at a point in my life where I want to be that serious. I just want to laugh and have a good time. So when she brought it to me, initially I was like, I really didn't have a podcast on my bingo card that day. But after talking to Crystal, I was like, okay, you know what? Let's just see where it goes. And what surprised me the most is, like, I love her. Like, we are the same person in so many ways, but we have undeniable chemistry.
You do. I mean,
like that, I didn't know was going to happen.
I will say, I mean, this is like when you had your first episode. I don't know however long ago that was, but when I listened to it,
that was a horrible episode. All I did was like talk over her.
But when I listened to it, you could sense the real relationship. And I try not to listen to tons of Housewives podcasts just because I talk about it on a daily basis. But like, I would listen to this and I was like, oh, this is great. This is a natural fit and you can actually grow with this. So to me, it was kind of really exciting. What is the best and worst part of podcasting for you?
Ooh. There's no worst part for me. I actually enjoy it so much. And we talk about it. We both look forward to it. I'm sure there's bad stuff. I don't really know. I think I get nervous before each one because I'm like, what are we going to talk about? Because we're not reviewing anything. We don't have automatic content. It's just who we are. And yesterday we were recording and it was like, an hour and 48 minutes. We're like, shit. Like it goes on so long and we have endless things to talk about. But I will say every single time I go in, I'm like, I think about like, what did I do this week? And then it just,
everything.
It just goes on and on.
Yeah.
So
for
it's great.
For me, the best part is just, having yet another platform to to just engage with, our supporters, our fans. I don't really engage on social media. Like I post all the time.
Yeah.
I just post my stuff, but I don't really go back and forth. You see snippets of me on the different shows that I'm on, but on Humble Brag, you really get to know me, like all my true personality.
It's true. And that's the thing is that we're so used to seeing both of you ladies in a sense on Housewives, but you for so many more years. And we think we have this overall picture of you and you realize that is not a 360 view. And I'm not bagging on the show at all. It's just that, a 43-minute show cannot encapsulate who you are as a person. And by the way, before we get any further, I do want to point out if you're watching this, Cynthia doesn't have a drinking problem. This is a tequila in front of her, a tequila commissario that she is now. I think you're owner of this.
With the Maloof family, with Adrienne Maloof and her family, Stephen Rice, and I actually have ownership in it. So that was really exciting for me. But they made me an offer I couldn't refuse. So
yeah, make me the offer. I don't think anybody was going to refuse. By the way, who doesn't like tequila? I mean, if you have a problem, that's I mean,
we're sorry.
I'm sorry,
but I love it. I'm excited to benefit just because I buy so much of it and drink so much of it. So for me,
well, what's
it's
great?
The best partnership.
I had a long run with Seagram's for many years, and I love being in the spirits world. And my life is crazy and dramatic. So if anybody needs a cocktail at the end of the day, it's definitely Cynthia Bailey. However, what I love about having ownership in Commissaria is the fact that not a lot of females have ownership and own their own alcohol.
Yeah.
Tequilas and everything. So I was excited to come into a male-dominated space and find my place in it.
Yeah. I mean, no, it's the empires both of you are building and have built is so impressive. And it is interesting working with Jeff and seeing the people that he chooses to be around. There seems to be this common denominator, myself out of this, is that everybody has this kind of entrepreneurial spirit. And I don't mean that in a negative way at all. It's like you learn so much from listening to you guys talk. And has that always been have you always been an entrepreneur even from a little kid?
Yeah. I mean, for me, I have always had the spirit of entrepreneur. I think I was always scared. I grew up, I went to school as pre-med. I always thought I was supposed to have a more structured life. I didn't grow up in a place where it was go live your dreams. It was go be a surgeon. That's really what it was. And so actually after I met Rob, my parents were more open to it. Oh, he's a creative and he actually can, pay the mortgage as a creative. And so when the idea of building Real Coco started, we had so much support from our family because it was go try this. And that was 15 years ago. So it's been, And I'm very protective of the brand. Obviously, you don't really see it on the show because it was, I just didn't want to attach it to being a Housewives brand.
Because it can succeed without that.
Yeah.
I mean,
stand on its own. For me, I just really quickly, my story is a little different from Crystal. I definitely always had the entrepreneurial spirit, but I put the hustle in hustler. And that was because I felt
really
yes, I am definitely, the hustle is real for me. I came from very humble beginnings. I am self-made. No one's ever given me anything. So it's one of those things where when you come from that, from those type of beginnings, you're always just on your hustle. You get one thing, you're on to the next. So, I love the control of being able to control my life and my destiny in terms of just having my own financial independence and having all my businesses and actually being able to bring other people in and hire people to work for me and, for my companies as well.
You have a team.
Team
but
Bailey.
She works so hard. You can't believe how much. I was we walk and we laugh. I'm of course, another business, but it's really not a joke. I mean, Cynthia is endlessly working and it's super impressive because I'm exhausted looking at her and I work hard too, but I don't touch what she does, genuinely.
No, I mean, I can barely do a podcast, and what you do in a day is and then I keep seeing you on every TV show known to man, including, which, by the way, you kind of ruined Got to Get Out me first. You were on Jeff, and I literally had just come out, and you mentioned it immediately, and I was like, that was on my watch today, and I was like, what? I'm going to 8 episodes.
I heard it. And Jeff's I don't think you're allowed to. She goes, it's out. You can binge it. I'm I don't think you can do that.
Got to Get Out is on Hulu. There's 8 episodes, and it's Spencer Pratt, and you've got Kim Zolciak, who you roomed with. You had some heavy hitters in there, and you walked away, you splitting the prize.
The prize with my boy Stein.
Have you won the money?
Not yet.
That's what I hear.
Coming.
I hear it takes years, potentially.
Well, I mean, I don't know how it works. I mean, I believe that Hulu's good for it. So, otherwise,
picketing
I will be
outside of
calling
Disney
them.
today.
I don't think it's going to be hard to track down Hulu. So I think the money's coming. But yeah, I honestly watch it back. It was so much, when you're in these reality show spaces, especially competition spaces, which I'm never a threat, ever. Like,
yeah, but you say this, that's a threat when you say you're not a threat.
I'm not.
You gotta stop. That's your shtick now.
I know. By the way, by the time you
get
get to traders, people are going to be on to you.
Like,
Yeah.
be on my ass, right?
Yes.
you're out first. Better be careful.
I know.
You can't say that.
I know, but I still was surprised that I won because it was like, a couple different parts that would enable you to win. First of all, you have to get a clue. I could not get a clue to save my life until like the end of it. And when I finally did, it was the one time I went into the clue room and I didn't have my freaking glasses with me. And when I tell you, I could not read what it said, but I knew all I saw was exit. And I was like, okay, so I must have a clue. And no one came in to, we didn't stop filming so I could go find my glasses. I was like, am I in here? And I get a freaking clue and I can't even read what it is.
So you're just like feeling around the walls.
I was like, I think I have a clue. And then at that point, that's when I had to tap into my acting. Cynthia, the actress,
yes,
stepped in because, it was like, well, first of all, I had to gain everyone's trust. I always had a plan the whole time. And my strategy was to get everyone's trust and to just make everyone comfortable. So I just lived by the button. So nobody even concerned themselves with the button because they knew I was always there. So, but when I got a clue, then the game changed and I had to find my partner. And I had, I had my eye on Stein for a while because he was like kind of flying below the radar a little bit. But after talking to him, I mean, the man like jumps from glacier to glacier. He's like some action adventure type person.
So you
attached
attached yourself to him.
Dangerous stuff all the time. I was like, if he can like do all this dangerous, adventurous stuff that he does, he can run his ass out of this house and out that gate for sure. And he did. So yeah, I won.
Doing.
Would you be honest with me right now? And have either of you been approached for the traders?
No, not yet. We're waiting.
The way you guys lie to my face is ridiculous.
No, we haven't.
But let me tell you something.
And we keep putting it out.
It's very upsetting. Like, it's triggering for us.
See, my pitch is to bring both of you on and then you can promote the podcast.
That's our pitch as well.
Yes.
We would crush.
Are totally a package deal when we need to be.
Yeah, we are desperate.
But and we want to do it. Like,
my
I don't
question
know how many
is,
times we need to say it. We want to do it.
How quickly would you throw each other under the bus? Like,
not
would it
super quickly, but I would.
Yeah,
you'd have to.
Well, thank you, bitch. Okay,
She says she flies under the radar, but she doesn't.
At least you know.
Crystal's no joke. Like, she would like tap in, like, for real. I would be like, oh my God, I have to let Crystal know what's happening.
I know you would. But by the way, it's because she gets to do so many shows and she gets to make all this money. It's my turn. So like I'm a
This
gamer.
is already her strategy to get you out, is that she's won so much. She has so much. She has a tequila brand.
It would be hard to vote against her. For me, for sure. I would like, until the very end, and I'd be like, okay, girl, I'll see you at the podcast, but you got to go.
Yeah, I would have a hard time too.
The tension on humble brags from that point on.
I feel so sad to vote you off.
Yeah.
Well, Cynthia, Crystal, I always talked about you on your time on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I always called you the reliable narrator. I always think there's a person on each season that you trust regardless, where you're like, if Crystal says it, I can believe it. I don't think there's a lie there. I don't think there's like gamemanship. I mean, Housewives have turned into a game in some capacity. But anything that you said, I was like, I will believe Crystal. And Cynthia, you to me have always been kind of like an angelic force in a hurricane where we've always supported. Listen, one of my goals was to be on the Bailey agency at one point. I mean, my name's Bailey. I thought
it happened last night.
I was like, come on. I was like, I want to be the heir to the Bailey agency throne, and I want to stay at Lake Bailey one time just because it's family property.
Yeah. And I apologize for hijacking our last name. Like I don't think you can do much with it.
No, we're very proud of how far you've taken the Bailey name. No, I just see these things in regards to how you presented yourself on television, and you've managed to still kind of, even though you've gotten into tussles, have maintained kind of a class and an elegance in terms of a really kind of not pit of vipers, but there is this cage match kind of energy has, and I used to think it just happened recently, but then I went back and watched the second season of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills with Adrienne Maloof, and it was tragic.
Oh, really?
Have you ever watched the second season?
I mean, I have, but I can't recall what.
I mean, you
What do you
had
mean?
Taylor and her husband in
yes.
that situation. You had Kyle and Kim. That's when Kim and Kim was revealed to have some issues, and Kyle had to go against her sister.
Oh, that was a hard.
You had the opening of Sir, which is like the ninth portal of hell. Like, yeah, you have that, Lisa Vanderpump. But what I was asking, Crystal, do you miss it?
It's so funny. There's some parts I miss. It's like anything. I think I wish that I enjoyed it more in the experience, and I can't really go back and do that. I just wish I didn't take it so seriously. And
Would you get nervous and stuff before filming?
Yeah, but I think I'm like a real person. I'm an emotional person. I feel things, and it was always chopped up to being like an emotional millennial. But like, okay, that's who I am, and I think I wish I just said that. Like, get over it.
Yeah, make those other ladies jealous that you're a millennial.
Yeah, like but it was always looked down upon, and I think I genuinely went in there like, oh, I'm gonna kill them with kindness. Like I'm gonna be the one everyone likes, and then you walk in, you're like, and I guess I didn't really realize. Just like you said, the den of vipers or whatever. I mean, it's like I did not realize it was such a game. And so even though they say it, I was like, oh, I'm going to defy that. I'm going to show who I am and, overcome that part of it. And then I realized you can't. It is what it is. And so I kind of lost. I failed at that.
Well, I mean, but I felt like the last season was your strongest season. So it was really interesting to see where we could go from there. Yeah. Now, by the
way, I'm going to say I feel like it was because I strongly felt that way about Anne-Marie. Like I really had strong
Anne-Marie
feelings.
Wiley,
yeah,
yes.
I had really strong feelings and they were genuine. And so when you put me in a situation where I have authentic feelings, that's when I'm going to come out. Where the other ones I felt a lot more pressure to respond to certain things happening that I would not normally.
Yeah.
But in that case, I did. So I think I need to be in an authentic environment, personally.
In terms of like the talking heads that they shoot, like, Cynthia, did you grow into being able to drop like a pearl in a talking head, or is that something that was always natural to you?
It was never natural to me, for sure. I had to come into being able to just be quick. And for me, I like funny shade more than mean shade. So I always struggled with, like, even if I couldn't stand someone on the show, if they were like, coming for me, I never wanted to just be awful in my confessionals. I always wanted to give them a little bit of grace. And I think there was some times I was like, fuck this shit. I'm going in.
It would be great if everyone of your talking heads was, fuck this shit.
Okay? It's all about intention, because when you watch it back, you're like, oh my God, they are coming for me.
It's crazy.
But yeah, but I love watching the other ladies. Like, even if they're shading me, if it's funny, I just have to laugh.
Yeah.
You just have to laugh. You're like, okay, that was a good one.
Well, you were just on Nene Leakes' YouTube show, which, by the way, all hail Nene. I mean, truly a legend, I mean, just still
one of the
even
best to ever do it.
But also, like, just in terms of just even memes, like, people are still like, she's the most memeable housewife of all time. And you were just on her YouTube show, and it was so awesome to see you guys together. But you even said, you were like, girl, we should have been on Beverly Hills. We could like totally clean up over there. Because like, what would you describe the differences between Atlanta and Beverly Hills besides the obvious?
Oh, okay. Beverly Hills cuts, but Atlanta cuts to the white meat. Like, it's just a very different, like, on Beverly Hills, you leave, you walk out with crutches. On Atlanta, you walk out, you roll out in a wheelchair. Like, they go in, they're coming with everything they got. They got people showing up on camera, like suspected mistresses. Like, there is no limit to the depths of hell that we won't go to on Atlanta.
I just don't know. My stomach would hurt so much just preparing for a season.
I don't know how I don't have an ulcer. Like,
it's
seriously.
the tequila, you guys. The tequila is a medicinal as well.
Listen, it was like, I remember going to scenes like literally I would call my producer and tell them, please make sure I have a margarita when I get there, because I would be like, I couldn't have done it.
The producers aren't even encouraging you to drink. You're like, I need to drink.
It better be a margarita there when I get there. Like, I'm telling them that, I just always needed something to take the edge off. I was never super, super comfortable in this space. Kind of like, I think why Crystal and I, kind of can connect on how, you have to really find your legs on a show like this, and how you are in your real life. You have to be able to bring that to the show, but also still have some integrity, and also try to stay authentic to who you are. I mean, that was always my goal. I never wanted to turn into this monster on the show.
Well, how easy is it to sell out?
Oh, it's super easy to sell out.
Is to be like, you know what? I know what the audience. I think about that about the podcast every day. Is like if I went dark, if I went super negative, it would actually get me to where I want to go a lot quicker.
Absolutely. Some of the ladies will do whatever they have to do to stay on TV. They will do whatever they have to do to stay on the show, and that was never my case. Like if my time was up, it was up, and there was just always a line that I never wanted to cross. Even if I had the ammo to cross it, I'd be like, you know what? I'm going to lead with light and grace. I'm going to give you what I need to give you. But at the same time, I want to sleep at night because I really want to like who I am. I mean, it's smart for me to watch back the old episodes now because I feel like I never really went to the depths of hell.
You know what's so funny you say that?
Now, I opened the gate.
Went through a relationship.
I may open the gate, but I didn't walk through it.
You know what's so funny? I love that you watch it, that you're like, you feel good about it. Yeah. I watch it, and the things I could have said that I knew that I didn't, I regret it. I'm like,
I could see that.
I could have destroyed
everybody,
and I didn't because I fucked my integrity. I was like, first I was scared. I wanted to go to bed at night, but I held it in. And Rob would say, like, say it. Like, this is like just whatever. And I'm like, I can't.
Rob was gunning for a housewife slot on that. I say he's the one who. Did you see that People magazine article about Morgan Wade and Kyle Richards? Yeah.
And I tell you, the amount of times like my heart just stopped because Rob says something, and I'm like looking at the cameras, like. And then they're like, Rob for a housewife in the back room, my kitchen. I was like, oh, shit.
Rob knows how to play to the cameras.
But I look, he does. I mean, that's what he does, right? But I look back, and unlike you, I'm like, I have the opposite. I'm like, I should have said it. Why did I protect all these
what
people?
would you have said? By the way, I will say on Humble Brag, they are so open about the mechanics of Housewives. And I've learned things through this podcast about the overall like production. And I don't mean like talking negatively about production or anything like that, but just how it's all pieced together, or even how in a new season they're having you fill out questionnaires and what could possibly be storylines. I learned that from Humble Brag.
Yeah.
But what do you sometimes say, I wish I had said this?
I mean, there's just moments where I think it would have clarified things for the girls on the show with me, but I was like protecting other people, or I wasn't fully like resolved how I felt, because I'm someone that needs to get there first before I speak. But the thing with the show is that you need to speak in real time. That's how it works. And I'm not good at that. I like to go home. I like to absorb. We talk about this.
Yeah,
process.
We need process and take time. And I'm sitting there and I'm watching myself. I'm like, I knew exactly how I felt. I knew exactly what I was thinking, but I wasn't ready to do it yet. And then by the time you get to the next day, it's actually too late on a show like this. It's too late. You cannot.
You have to be in the moment.
Correct. And so I watch, and I like so many moments like that I just wished I had the balls to say it. And
which is hard, because in real life, you don't have to react right away if someone pisses you off. You actually get to go home. You get to drive home and think about it. And then you get to go home and sleep on. And then the next day you wake up and you're not right about it. Then you call their asses and say, you know what? I don't like how you spoke to me at dinner the other night, blah, 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 blah. But on Housewives, you got to shoot your shot right then and there and just hope on the back end that it works out for you.
And there is there an element too of like the housewives that talk mad garbage in a talking head but can't do it in a scene? Like it's almost like the talking heads are like, well, that's where I can shoot my shot without you being there, and they won't do it in a scene.
For me, I actually see a lot of that kind of commentary online, but I have to say, in the middle of it, I don't feel that way.
Gotcha.
I don't like call people.
So it's not
out,
a talked about thing of like this person is a talking head killer but can't like be brave.
No, on Atlanta it is for sure.
A lot of times that's the difference, right?
It's different. Like on Atlanta, you'll be in the scene with someone and they don't really have a lot of smoke for you in the scene, and then you watch them in the confessional and you're like, whoa. Like, you didn't even say anything to me in the scene.
But because I'm telling you, I don't believe that they felt as strongly in the moment. I think you're watching, because, the way we do Talking Heads is it's a progress. Like, it starts airing, and then you do it while it's airing.
Yeah.
So you start to have it's like reunion. You start to feel something different when you start watching them talk about you. And then you're really hyped up when you get in the seat. To do that. It's later. You're not doing it. It looks like it's happening in real time, but it's not.
It's a very strategic way to shoot, because they can really...
That's how you build a good show. Yeah. Exactly.
I think the key to being a good housewife is to be able to do both. You need to be able to be vocal in that moment, at least chime in and say something, and then light up the interview as well.
Yeah.
And when you are able to, when those two worlds can collide together, that's when you end up, for the most part, even if you're just talking shit, you're in it. You're in the season. Like, your voice is heard whether people agree with you or not.
Yeah, and even with all that being said, it's still lightning in a bottle. It's still how these women interact with them, and they're like some kind of magic. And sometimes we have seasons, it's like supporting a sports team where it's like, they didn't do good this season, but I believe in the team overall.
Right.
Is that like sometimes you just don't have that right magic, you know? And in terms of like becoming a caricature, I always said this about Lisa Rinna, was that I felt by the end of her run, she had become a caricature of herself in a lot of ways, where she got so kind of sucked into the vortex of Housewives and really let it become her persona that it took away from the realism she brought in like the beginning couple of seasons for her. And because I loved Lisa Rinna in the beginning.
Me too.
Crystal, I do have a question about you. You just were out to lunch with Jennifer Tilly.
Yes.
And this is just how my weird, sick mind works. You posted a picture, or Jennifer posted a picture with you, but also I think the same day she posted a picture with Sutton. Was Sutton at that lunch?
No.
Sutton was not at that.
No, she had lunch with I only know this because she mentioned she had lunch with Sutton the week prior or something. And she likes to do things in order. So she didn't want to, she said, I'm going to post today, and I'm like, but I'm going to post later today. And then she posted that. So I think she didn't want to post it out of order.
Okay. Because
that's a genuine answer.
My hope was that Crystal's coming back on Beverly Hills, and we are trying to get people.
My hope as well.
We are trying to get people around Sutton because Garcelle is out, and that Crystal potentially would still talk to Sutton, and that's what I thought. Is there any truth or any thought in your head? Because you're a very smart person. Is there any thought in your head about that?
I do. I think that if there might be.
Really tripping over your tongue right now.
I really am, Bailey. I think maybe a little bit, but not really.
Yeah.
To be honest, I don't. I think I would have heard by now. And also, I'm not thinking about that right now.
No, I don't think you're gunning for anything. In fact, we've had conversations even at ChumpCon and all of that.
Yeah.
And
I actually really enjoy spending time with like someone like Jennifer, like, because I didn't have to film with her. I didn't have to go through that with her, you know.
You get to know her as a real person.
Yeah, like she's known Rob for 30 years. I mean, it's like, it's so nice. He's like, I can't believe you're like hanging out with Jennifer. He's like, because they worked together for so long. And we get to share our stories of our experiences without having to be in the den together. Yeah. And so it's really, like, it's nice to have a confidant like that. She's a really great person.
Yeah, Jennifer's great. She's a huge fan of Humble Brag. She's made it very publicly known that she loves the show. So
she's a huge supporter.
Yeah, I mean, an Oscar-nominated actor. I mean, like Bullets Over Broadway is one of my favorite movies. Her performance in that crushes every time I watch it. Cynthia, what do you want to see for Crystal in her life?
Oh, okay.
I mean, by the way, she already has a beautiful family.
Yes, she does.
I mean, Doug Buten has stolen away her husband at this point, so that might be on
Wait, what?
Yeah, Doug went over to lunch at Crystal's last week with Brittany Haynes and fell in love with Rob Minkoff.
Oh yeah, Rob is great. I can see how that can happen.
but
he's in
the
love.
The whole story, like he's fully in love with him.
Oh, he's in love.
Oh, I went over to Doug's on Monday, and he was like, and I just to grab something that I left over there, and he literally was like, "Did you hear who I met? Oh my God, the best. He's working on a musical." Yeah. Like, I went through the whole thing. He's like in love.
I love that.
Well, he must have been very jealous of you that you've had drinks in my house well before.
You know what? I didn't tell him that because I want everybody to have their
moment.
I want everybody to have their
their own individual
moment. After today, maybe.
Yeah.
I would say, going back to the question, my hopes for Crystal is I'm just so proud of how through Humble Brag she's really found her voice, and she's just very comfortable. Like, the voice was always there, but I felt like we didn't really get to see the real Crystal that we get to see on Humble Brag. So I'm so proud of you for that, friend. Number one. And when the time is right, I would definitely love to see her back on TV, whether it's Beverly Hills, whether it's Traders, whatever it is. She is she's the one and only.
This is way too positive. Wow, this is like really positive.
But I wouldn't say this. Like, I would totally throw her under the bus if I felt differently. But Crystal has a lot to say.
She does.
I feel like we have not heard all the things that this woman has to say. We get some of it on Humble Brag, but for the most part, I feel like not that she needs a do-over with Housewives. I think to be continued should happen for sure.
No, and I think it is just not if, but not win, but not, or whatever that saying is. Not if, but win. Like,
because here's the thing. Like, I did Atlanta for like over a decade, and now I go back to season 16 in a official friend space, right? And I think when you leave a situation, any job, I think there's something to be said about leaving the way you want to leave and feeling like you did that. You can really check that box in a way like, you know what, this is a body of work that I'm proud of. I love how I showed up and I love how I left. And I don't feel like that's her experience on the show. So I want her to go back and get that, because I do feel like for me, for Atlanta, when I left, I was actually good. Like, I just really didn't have anything else to really say. And that was okay for me. And I look back with some sense of pride and integrity to just know that I kind of did it my way. You know, whether you think I'm the most entertaining or the most boring person on the show, I feel like I never sold my soul. I felt like I always tried to lead with love and grace. And then, you know, of course, I would like light you up if I had to. But for the most part, I'm good with it, which is why it's so much fun going back in a friend space. I have the housewife T-shirt already. I don't have to validate myself in any way. I have nothing to prove.
But isn't it funny that once you do that, they come calling back, and then you appear on Beverly Hills, you appear on this, you appear on that. It seems like, I mean, for both of you, and that's what, like, I knew Crystal before Humble Brag and I didn't. It wasn't like I didn't enjoy you on Beverly Hills, because I did. I was like, oh, we need that stabilizing force.
Yeah.
But it was interesting is that every time I would talk to you, it wasn't like it was a completely different person, but I was like, oh my God, there is so much here.
More. Yeah.
So with Humble Brag or Jeff Lewis, you get to see, by the way, let's just talk about Crystal like she's not here the entire time. No, but like, I'll even go one more. I think Crystal will be back on TV, and I think she will produce her own show as well. I think she will get into production in some sense. If she doesn't put herself in a show, I think she will be actually doing shows herself.
I agree. We actually want to take Humble Brag on the road at some point.
Oh
and
my
do some live
God, that would be
shows.
amazing.
You could be our moderator.
Oh, Doug. But he's like, Doug's like, that's fine. I'll be with her husband. Yeah.
While we're on the road.
Leave Rob alone.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
While we're on the
Rob
road.
loves it. Are you talking
hanging
about?
out with Rob.
But thank you both. You guys are really sweet.
You had this amazing interview with Reza Farahan from Shaw's and Joey Zauzig recently. And Reza was talking at that time. And by the way, we knew that the Shaw's reboot was happening, but it had to be kind of cloaked in secrecy, even though Jeff blew that multiple times.
Yeah.
But he was talking, which I thought was so interesting in your interview, was he said, you know, he had planned, he bought a whole wardrobe of clothes. He had planned for that 10th season or whatever season they were up to. And he's like, yeah, they just called and said it wasn't happening. And then you're kind of alone in the woods. It just like happened so suddenly. And he said it was like traumatic because he had really had planned on this. What am I if I'm not a Shaw?
Yeah.
And now cut to this week when we got multiple announcements by Bravo, and Shaw's being one of those. For your experience that first year after Beverly Hills and Atlanta, you know, you said you were happy you left with your pride and dignity, but does it take a while to get to that place of acceptance? Because I always wish there was a documentary following Housewives after just after that first season of not having to read mean things about themselves online, what that's like. What was it like for both of you?
Well, for me, going back to the question when you asked Crystal if she misses the show, being on the show, I feel like you can't help but miss it, because in the real world, if you're not on TV, when you walk away from a job or you get let go from a job, you just go find another job and no one cares and no one's talking about it. With social media and just press, it's like it always comes up. You can't help but miss it because you still have to live it. As soon as you turn your Instagram, something's coming up, housewives all the time. So you kind of can't get away from it. You can't. So it's always that like, wow, you're constantly reminded of the show all the time. So even if you're happy being off the show, you still have that feeling of like, wow, it's weird.
It's in your face all the time.
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
Or people are coming up to you saying
they're
how
always
much...
asking you about it.
Yeah.
Like, you guys know I have a million things going on, but of course the number one thing people still ask me about is Real Housewives of Atlanta. So at that point, I felt like I have so much equity in the show from being on the show. It's kind of silly not to still be able to use the platform if I'm able to, which is why one of the reasons why I went back as a friend, because I was like, you know what, the fans aren't going anywhere. This show literally made me a household name. How can I continue to focus on these other things and still be connected to the fans? And that was the friend role play, which is a good play to have. When I tell you, every woman who was a housewife, who is now considering being a friend, they all call me to say, okay, what does that contract look like? Like literally, Rob will tell them to call me. This would be like, call and talk to Cynthia.
The friend role.
And I always encourage everyone to take it. And sometimes it's not always the biggest money grab at the time, but it's a more strategic long-term play, because the goal is you got to just stay on TV. And that's how you keep yourself relevant. Like, we can do all these other things, but once we're actually off TV, then the game kind of, people don't pick up the phone as quick as they used to when you're actually on TV. And that's just the game.
Yeah, no, it is interesting. And I think, once again, I've learned this from just being around Jeff for the last year plus, is it's interesting to be around all of these people where you realize how much work goes into what you ladies are doing. I mean, because not only you have the TV, but you have these companies, you have the coconut water, you have stuff that people have no idea that you're involved in, but how hard you have to work at every little thing. And also to remain kind of that housewife that people still look up to in a degree and don't just consistently shit talk. And both of you, I feel like, have kind of not, it's not mastered, but you've really ensconced yourself in that, where at any point you're not in this kind of problematic role where it's dangerous to ever hire you because you're going to bring value, humor, looks, all of these things that we want. So it's you are hireable at any point.
Yes, that's important. Actually, why I asked Cynthia to be my partner is because she's not problematic, and she's a safe bet for me because we have the same values.
Peace. I choose peace.
Yes, and I do
every part of my life, business and personal.
Exactly. But for me, leaving, I think it's all relative to how you left, how long you were on the show. I was on for only 3 years, even though it felt like 30,
right,
and aged me a lot. I remember lying there after for a couple days. It was a couple days.
And is it a call? Do they call you and say, "Hey, we're not going that way"?
Yeah, but I had been on calls to start production up until very
you had mentioned this on
a
Humble Brag, was that you were already talking about potential storylines for the next season.
Yeah, we had gone through that process. I did feel like it was more detailed than the years prior, but I'm the type of person, I'm always prepared for it to go bad. I don't expect anything. I'm like, oh, I'm not going back. Every year, I'm not going back. And then it happened. I was like, okay. So I just laid in bed. I was like, what am I going to do? And I felt that way for a few days, a few strong days. I'm like, and then Rob's like, get up. That did not define you. That was a random chapter of your life. Get up and go back to your normal life. I'm like, okay. Went back to work and saw the kids more. The kids were really happy. They're really happy. They really like me around.
So they get what kind of a toll it would take to be on Housewives.
Yeah, they felt the filming was, they had mixed feelings about the filming because they really loved the crew and they were really interested in the cameras. Rob particularly loved the cameras. He was always helping set up lighting. He loved it all.
We saw.
Yeah, he loves it. But he didn't really like it. I asked him to film. I had to do this. And he's like, okay, he did it for me, but the kids, they never watched it. They're very young. So they didn't really know what it was. If someone came up to me over the years, they'd be like, oh, that lady watches that show you did. It was so distant to them, but I missed a lot, for a couple of years. They're a primary age. It's important. So they were very happy. So it's funny when we talk about staying on TV and stuff, that was never my original intention. I think with Cynthia and a lot, she's a model. She's been very in the front, forward-facing.
You've been a model since you were 18 years old, right?
Yeah. I'm still trying to make a comeback.
I mean, by the way, she's
not going to be a problem.
She's 28 now, so I just want to point that out. It's only been 10 years since you started.
That won't be a problem modeling, my friend. But, for me, I struggle daily. Even the question, do I want to be back on the show? It's I always felt like getting asked to do Housewives was a lark. It was... Yeah,
it wasn't something you would plan on or strive for.
No, and I also felt like a fish out of water the whole experience. So it's not now I'm like, oh, now I'm doing this. I got to do this show. I got to do this. Even Humble Brag to me is, still a little bit. It's just, but it's me. So that's why I love it and I lean into it. But the idea of when someone says do you want your own show? I'm like, I've never thought about my own show. I still feel that way. So, it's an interesting experience I'm going through. It's in my own internal thing of could I just walk away, do back to my life fully?
Yeah.
I don't know. It changes you though. It changes you.
I want to just to quickly add, going back to the kids thing, one of the great things about being a friend of the show is I don't have to have a storyline. I don't have to bring my family in. My daughter Noelle started the show with me when she was 8 years old, and now she's 25. And she was never one of those kids, although she did well on the show. It wasn't like, hey, Mom, can I film today with you? It was always like, I'll buy you a pack of M&Ms. Film with me today.
And if you
then
smile,
the M&Ms turned into money. I'll give you $100.
By the way, when you're a friend of, you get 2 packs of M&Ms.
Exactly. So it's really, at this point, she's grown. I don't want to. She didn't have a choice but to be a part of my package when she was younger.
Yeah.
And now she has a choice, and I respect where she is in her life, and she's finding herself and her own identity. And Noelle's dad is an actor. I've been on the forefront.
Didn't you guys do a commercial together, like that Bravo commercial, you and your daughter?
Yeah, we've done a lot of things
I was
together.
like, I remember that.
Yeah.
It is interesting experience.
We did a Dove commercial.
Yeah. But to watch your kids grow up on a Housewives show, it's like I get tears. Like it's
very sweet.
I mean, I was just thinking about like watching Phaedra's kids grow up, or
Aiden's in
Candy's kids grow up,
Riley's
and you're like,
in college.
Well, Riley's going to be on a Bravo show, like Next Gen NYC.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's wild.
Yeah. No, it's amazing to really just to be able to get that experience, but I think you have to respect their choices as they get older. Like, everyone just doesn't want to. And trust me, as a reality star, I pretty much do every show that's offered to me other than Naked and Afraid at this point in Special Forces.
Well,
sorry, Naked and Afraid. Yeah, it's a very special episode of Humble Brag.
That's probably the only line that I probably wouldn't cross.
She's the naked one. I'm the
By
afraid.
the way, cut to 2 years from now, Cynthia in the woods.
Don't say that.
Which, by the way, I watched Naked and Afraid I just got caught up in like a whole binger with the show
because you got approached to be on it.
And I still am mad that I fell asleep toward maybe I watched 6 back-to-back episodes in the hotel the other night. I was like, whoa, this is crazy. They just kept getting skinnier and skinnier, and the stuff they were so happy to eat like a tree rat. And I was like, would I ever go that low? Could I be on this show naked
We like
and
to
afraid?
do a lot of Would You Rather. So I'm thinking $1 million?
I just don't know. I don't know if I'm built for it. But anyway, my point is, I would pretty much there's not that many reality shows that I wouldn't do. However, with that said, for someone like me, it's a blessing to have the type of kid who's like, hey, let's get this money. Let's all just do a bunch of shows. And I just don't have, Noelle has just never been that kid. She's good when she's on, but she wants to do her own thing.
But that's going to be so gratifying that she's not like that.
Oh, no,
it is.
It is. And I really respect it a lot because at the end of the day, she has her life. And I have lived my life and, unapologetically, and I don't want to force my stuff on her stuff.
Yeah.
It's
Can
her
I tell you
time.
something? You can't force anything on that child.
Well, Noah basically runs the show over here,
He
so
really is.
she's not having it.
She's in the other room. She's like, cut this part out. Cut that. You'll not talk about me on that show.
Noelle is not to be played with. She's very, always been an independent thinker.
Yeah.
She's always just, she has a great sense of who she is, and she's just not going to do anything that she doesn't want to do. So there's that.
This season of Atlanta, you are back as a friend of, and it is that really kind of interesting experience where you come in and there's kind of a gravitas about it where you don't really seem thrown in any situations, even when craziness is happening. Like you kind of seem to be this like kind of like you're very wise on the show. Like people,
thank you.
No, like no, I
I'm
watched.
like a collector of information.
That's
I kind
the
of
best.
piece everything together. Like I go away because a lot of people keep forgetting that I'm actually not a housewife anymore. I'm just a friend. So I'm not in all the scenes. I'm not in Atlanta all the time. So when I show up, it's kind of like I go and find out what happened while I was gone. So it's Bravo did a really fun way of kind of editing that where it's like, I come back and go to this person's house and be like, okay, what happened? Who said what? And then I go, this person, what? Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Then I throw my little 2 cents in. But for the most part, I've almost kind of been in like a narrator.
Yeah.
You're the narrator.
Well, that's what I say. Like the reliable narrator that I always thought Crystal was.
Yeah,
you're in this interesting position.
And still try not to pick a side per se because I don't want the smoke with any of the ladies. Like I really want my own individual friendships with all of them. Now, will I agree with all of them with their choices? Absolutely not. But 2 things can be true. I can still be your friend and not agree with some crazy stuff you said about somebody else on the show.
But isn't that like how all relationships are? Kind of like I might not agree with you in this way, but it doesn't mean I need to.
Well, they want you to pick a side on the
that's
show.
true. Yeah.
No, in real life it does, but on the show they want to know are you sitting on my couch at the reunion?
Yeah, that's
like,
right.
Are
Who do
you
you
with
really
me or
get
not?
along? I mean, like in terms of like in scenes together, like is there anybody that's really popped for you of like, oh yeah, I really think you are great on this show?
Well, I've had Phaedra and I came on together. And
Yeah.
she comes on toward the
Very
end.
soon, right?
Yeah, she's coming. She comes on during the Grenada trip. Maybe she shot a little bit before that. I'm not sure, but she comes on toward the end. And Phaedra and I came on The Real Housewives of Atlanta season 3 together. And although we were never tight during that time, we've come full circle. Like, we have a great relationship. We're in a great space together. Portia came on, I think, season 4. And I felt like Peter and I brought her and Cordell in on like the Anguilla trip.
Yeah.
So anyway, long story short, I've like, gone through my stuff with Portia. We're really tight. We're really close. She's great TV, all of the things. So we have a great relationship. Who else?
We got Kelly. We got Britt.
We got Drew Sidora. Drew and I are good. I'm actually in a great space with all of them, and I'm really enjoying getting to know the new ladies as well. I have my own, relationships with them. They'll text me or call me and ask me for advice, different things. So I've tried to really just kind of be neutral and just try to be there for everyone, which is, I've caught a few strays. The season for sure that I wasn't expecting. I'm like, wait a minute, how did I get in the damn hot seat?
But also,
I'm just up here trying to be cool with everyone.
That Shamia party at the beginning of the season, I didn't realize Shamia had that kind of like the HVAC wealth.
Hello, somebody.
I was like, you've been on this show for so long. I had no idea it was like this.
Oh, yes. Shamia is actually living good.
I actually said the same thing to her privately. She was like, no, this girl has...
No, her house is beautiful.
Shocked. I was like,
she's living good over there. But you get a lot more bang for your buck in Atlanta. This is not Beverly Hills, honey. You know what I'm saying?
Like, but not everyone's driving Rolls Royce. Like, you have to have money.
Everybody's driving a Rolls Royce in Atlanta.
Can you put a word in for Crystal to go to Atlanta?
What's that?
Crystal in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Would they eat me alive?
Oh, you would. I don't know. You've gotten a little
Crystal
tougher.
on Atlanta.
I think you might be okay. I think you need to come and shoot some stuff with me on Atlanta and then go back to Beverly Hills.
Yeah, I want to film a couple
and do what needs to be done.
Crystal takes a Commissario bottle and like threatens one of the ladies
literally
with it.
Walking to the scene like, who wants to smoke today? Let's go.
We've got a little bit of time left, but you had mentioned Peter, which we saw like a couple of your relationships on screen, which has got to be so difficult in something so personal. And you have talked about your current relationship, which I think you just celebrated a year anniversary. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Would you be willing to go down that path again and share that relationship on screen more?
I don't know. We haven't really talked about it. We don't even, we've been very intentional about even being on social media together.
Yeah.
I just don't feel like that's a happy place for couples
to go. Yes, I completely.
Super judgmental.
I was married before, and like I remember that was like I'd posted everything about our relationship online. And then when you do after that, it just feels like. Yeah. Because it hurts, like when you.
It does.
Yeah,
it does. And what it also does is it gives the, it gives the people on social media, the permission to comment on your relationship because you're putting it out there.
Yeah.
So we are, outside in real life. We go to things together. We just became red carpet official at Crystal's event where she won she got
Was
another
this the cancer
award.
benefit?
This is the Alzheimer's.
Alzheimer's
benefit.
Yeah. She presented me an award.
Yes.
Was it? Were you satisfied with how she presented you with the award?
Yes, I was very satisfied. It'll be one of many that she'll present to me.
That's all.
How many awards are we getting this year, Crystal?
This was honestly my 4th award this year.
Yeah.
Can we go for 5 next year? It's early in the year too. We're not even through with Q2.
I know, and I'm going to make sure either one of you two are going to be.
Yeah, can I get it is so weird. Like I see your social medias, and you're always just out. You're always out. And I think that's part of it. I think you probably genuinely, part of you enjoys it, but it's exhausting. Or even going to ChumpCon, just the amount.
It's exhausting.
By the way, I'm not complaining at all in terms of the I want to make that very clear.
As Jeff is watching.
Was so blessed to be there, and I was so excited, but it is one of those things. You're constantly out and you're constantly interacting with people. Who teaches you how to get used to that?
Okay, so we're different like that. We're very similar in things, but she, and I'm going to speak for you, but like,
go ahead.
She likes her downtime.
I do.
She needs her peace.
Well, I'm a lot older than you are.
It's not
age.
So I get my energy from people. Like I do 3.
You're like a vampire.
I do 3 dinners a night.
What?
Yeah. Like 3. I'll like meet
She's
you guys.
Busy girl.
I'll meet for cocktails. I go for dinner. Like I don't say no. I say yes, and I'm exhausted, but I actually love it. I genuinely, I'm hyper social.
She likes stuff going on all the time.
I will drive and run around and all day long, and I'll do 10 events in a day, and it's just something I love to do.
I wake up thinking about when I can go back to the hotel and lay down.
But she works all the time. So her downtime is really valuable. Like for me, like I said, it's energy. It actually creates joy for me. And I go out 6 nights a week.
Too.
Yeah.
Like, just don't forget about your nap time.
I have like a rest time in the middle of the day for an hour.
See, I can't take naps.
I won't
It's
take a
really
nap,
hard.
but I just
once
chill.
I turn it off, it's off.
My mom used to be able to do like a 15-minute nap, and she was great. I was like, how are you able to do this?
I don't get it.
Yeah, you're just waiting to get back to the hotel to watch Naked and Afraid. Like, that's like, how soon can I get back to watching these naked people that are
I get
afraid?
home at night. I do my, my face routine. I brush my teeth and I go to bed. There's no TV. It's like I go to bed because it's already late. Like, and I've already out.
And you
all
get
day.
up early.
Yeah, and I get up at like 6 because I have the kids.
Yeah, you have an extremely full life. Like I will hide away. Like I get nervous going to things. This is like my one true love is doing this,
Right.
and I put everything into it. But I realize this is another thing is that you do have to be out and about. You do have to be visible. And that is so scary to me. And I'm trying to step into being more comfortable with that.
Was ChumCon like hard for you in that way? Socializing stuff?
No. It was very exciting. Like I was just thrilled to be there, but it is not my norm anymore.
It was a lot.
You did a great job.
I know. I really appreciate that. Thanks, Doug.
We are voting for you to continue to be.
I'm just happy to be
Yeah,
there.
you did a damn good job.
Well, listen, I feel like I was plucked out of not obscurity because I did this, but like I'm the only kind of non-celebrity, in terms of we've got digital entrepreneurs.
I think you're like a celebrity now.
No, but I'm just
celebrity podcaster.
But is it like I always hear such like, oh, how could you work with Jeff? Oh, but you
hear
probably hear that
every day.
But it's like you guys don't
Jeff.
understand. I love it. Like I mean,
I love Jeff.
And even if you're teased by Jeff. He's so good at it that I genuinely enjoy being made fun of by Jeff.
Yes.
Not other people.
Jeff is one of our biggest supporters.
Oh,
actually.
he totally. I mean, he said so many, even working with him on that show, how he would talk about you ladies or anybody that he was involved with was so
very
complimentary.
supportive.
But at the same time, he wants to like
No,
get
he
a jab
drags
at
us.
us,
He compliments us, he supports us, and then he drags us. Yeah.
Well,
That's
and then
his love
also
language. Dragging is his love language.
to see where Crystal came with him, where they were at odds, and then now they're BFFs.
Oh,
she assisted in that. She was the catalyst. To
I
us
definitely
coming together.
helped shut that beef down.
Do you regret that now?
Well, now they're like super best friends. I'm like, now wait a minute. How do I get you two back together? Now you guys are hanging out, going on vacation without my ass.
You're playing a real life game of trade.
You're invited.
You're playing traders right now, and you just don't even know it.
She has no idea. But my thing is like, I don't have, because I hated him, I have no history before the day I met him, right? I don't know all the history of all these people that have come and gone.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like I need to do a little more research to figure out I can ask you too, but we're talking about Jeff now. Like, what is the trigger of why someone is now ousted? Because, you know what I said about his remember I said about his show?
Yeah.
It's where
friendships come to die. Yeah. Well, like, listen, I mean, I think it's like he said it all the time. If you lie to him, I think that's a big trigger. Like, if you lie to him, if you talk shit about other chumps in a very abusive way, that, like there's teasing and then there's like another step too far.
Yeah, all these are fair.
But also, I don't really try to think too much about it because, like I always say to my show, it's like, well, one day this will probably end in some fashion, but I'm just so thrilled to be back every week for now. Like, it's like, as right now, all I can do is think week to week, and I still have this regardless of that. But my God, I try to explain to people how fun it actually is, or the behind the scenes is so much. Like, that's why I think Flipping Out should definitely come back, because I'm like, the behind the scenes, those meetings preparing for ChumCon, I was like, I couldn't like, I would laugh internally because I was like, this would make such good television. Because he would try to like rile up Doug, or he'd try to rile, and you could just tell he was getting such a kick out of it.
Mm-hmm.
It was, I don't know, it was very interesting.
The current Chump crew, I'm obsessed with. I love everyone. So it's so, I mean, I don't really fight with people, so I can't imagine that happening or not liking them. Everyone is so unique, so fun. Everyone has their own thing.
Well, listen, you're brand ambassadors. You get to go on these content creator trips, which I have not gotten to yet.
You will.
You'll get there.
I'm on a health regime right now. So as we wind down here, what is coming up on Humble Brag? Because I do want to remind the audience, most importantly, and this will be in the show notes, is even though these are two huge celebrities that we know, love, and open a door, you need to rate this podcast 5 stars and you need to subscribe to the podcast. Don't just assume because they are housewives and they're in this kind of world that we don't need your support, because we do. When you rate something 5 stars or subscribe to it, it just puts the placement on more podcasts that are suggested to you. And we want this show to succeed. We want things with real relationships to succeed. And I'm not trying to mansplain anything to you, but I am trying to just encourage you to do it willy-nilly. Just like it's the freest, easiest thing you can do for this podcast. But what is coming up?
Thank you. When is this coming out?
This will be out next week.
Okay. Well, this week, we've kind of avoided talking too much about the finale of a lot of things that happened in Beverly Hills the last couple weeks.
Or just housewife talk in general. We try to keep it to a minimum, but the people want us to talk more.
Yeah, and we have a lot of
So-
insiders, so we dive deep into the relationships of people that have recently left, current cast members of Beverly Hills.
So you're talking Garcelle and Sutton.
Yeah, and we have
Do you think Garcelle and Sutton will talk again?
that. I don't know. Right now, no, for sure, no. But you never know.
Yeah. And do you think Kyle will ever be forced to like kind of reveal everything? Or, she's been with the show. She's so OG. She is Beverly Hills, but sometimes people want her to share more.
I'm going to say no.
Yeah.
Because she's still on the show.
Yeah.
So I don't think at this point, she's going to have to.
Yeah.
Like they're not going to force her to.
So you're going to talk all about Beverly Hills, allegedly.
Yes.
Yeah, we're going to talk about
Are you going to talk about Atlanta?
We talk about Wayne Brady.
Yeah, we did.
Wait, please tell. Are you dating Wayne Brady as well? Are you
I'm
part of the
not
polygamous?
Dating Wayne Brady. Not even sure if he even likes us.
Wait, you have Wayne Brady beef?
No, it's not beef. Okay,
Yeah, but
Crystal,
listen,
all right, let me say this one thing, and then I'm gonna turn it over to Crystal because she's kind of like very instrumental in the whole Wayne Brady of it all. Okay, coming up on the Humble Brag, one of the things that Crystal and I were pretty intentional about was not making our show dependent on guests.
Yep,
and we've been able to really somehow carry the show with just our semi kind of crazy, ridiculous lives.
Yep.
The last 2 episodes, solo episode just with you guys.
Like we
they were great.
Talked about travel and packing, and it still did well for us. So by some miracle. But anyway, with that said, we are starting to incorporate more guests because I think people actually might be getting a little sick of us at this point.
No.
I think you're completely wrong in that aspect, but I will say the guest element is exciting to hear you guys talk to. I mean, because I think you're at a certain level where it's exciting to watch you interact.
It is.
But at the same time, never doubt like the relationship that you guys have with each other, because it's in that element of like, well, they could read the phone book and I would be entertained. You know?
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, like you pointed out earlier, I recently did Nene Leak's show, so she's going to come on as a guest at some point.
No.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Ms.
my
Leakes
God.
is coming. She's coming to Humble Brag.
I'm like very
have her read. Have her give a read on Crystal. Have her like.
We're gonna have a lot of fun with it, and I have some of the other housewives that have expressed
Well, I feel
interest
like people
in
would
coming
line
on the show
up
as
to
well.
be on this show
Yeah,
because
people-
you
No,
both
we
are
get a
so
lot of requests.
likable.
We get a lot of requests. Again, we didn't want to have to be dependent on guests, so we kind of like spread them out. And we don't. I personally, I think at some point we will probably have to do it. I just have this thing, and I would love to know your opinion. I don't like to Zoom in guests. Like, I like people to come in person.
That's why I went with a new company, because I get to do this in person now more. I used to Zoom all the time.
Do you feel like it's better? Do you feel like it's more effective?
Oh,
Do you feel like people don't care? Because
I think people care. Like, I think people find it actually exciting to be in person. And then I think for myself, I find it so exciting to be able to like kind of stretch this muscle. I'm so used to doing it on a small screen.
Yeah.
And I've gotten used to that, and I think it's good. But this is I'll remember this for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Shut up. That's a little dramatic. But no, we're actually really honored. A lot of girls message us to be on the show.
Yeah.
And I think they know they're coming in not to be, we're not trying to dig at them. Yeah. We're just there to talk.
It's a natural conversation.
Yeah. And it's a safe space. Like, we really only want to talk about what they want to talk about. And for the most part, it's always just super positive. And like, I just like to have fun. Like, I could play Never Would I Ever the whole time.
Yeah. But also for them.
Well, hopefully you'll come back just to do a whole hour of Never Would I Ever.
I was just saying before.
We'll do shots of tequila.
Take tequila shots.
The beauty of Humble Brag is that other people also get to show the other side. Like, so we're not going to ask you questions about what you see on TV. They already see that. Yeah. It's what else do you have going on in your life?
Yeah.
Because that's been such a great thing for me. People are like, oh, I didn't know this is how Crystal really was.
Mm-hmm.
And I know there's a lot of housewives and people on reality that want to share who they really are. And so it's a space that they can express that in, where we are really supportive of it.
I'm telling you, there's a TV show here.
I know. I love your clock, by the way.
I know. Isn't this cool?
Because we talk and talk on Humble Brag, and we never know. We're like, hey, how long have we been
No,
talking?
this is once I started here, I was like, wow,
I'm
fancy. We have a
obsessed
clock
with
right
that.
now.
We have
This
been
is
talking
very cool.
we
Yeah,
need
we
one
need
of
a
these.
clock.
We need a clock.
You can't take this one, but you can.
We've been
probably
talking for
get one.
58 minutes.
I told you.
58, 46, 47,
like,
48.
I'm a
almost an
legal
hour.
thief. I told you. I'm taking that.
Okay, so the tequila is Comisario. How do we get this tequila?
You can go to tequilacomisario.com.
I'm going to put this in the show notes, you guys.
And you can also go to, if you're not following me on Instagram, you should, is my Instagram is lit, and you can go click on the link in my bio.
Can I get a follow, Cynthia?
We don't follow each other?
I follow you.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah,
Okay, as soon as I
Crystal's
leave
like,
here,
I've muted you many times.
I am, as soon as I walk out this door, I'm going to follow you.
We'll see, audience. We will
and
see.
I will like and comment on a bunch of
No,
pictures to make up for my
It's all-
absence.
I figured
For
it was
sure.
just because it's a Bravo account. But what else is going on that we need to know about and support besides Humble Brag? We have the tequila. We have the coconut water. I feel like you're an unofficial spokesperson for
Oh, I have
Labubu.
skincare.
Yeah, you have skincare.
Yeah, I have skincare.
What is your skincare?
I just started a skincare line with one of my long-term friends, Dana Hill. It's called Glowisama.
Glowisama?
Yes. And it's also, you guys can find it on my Instagram. It's a serum and it's also a face oil. And the products, it's all like done in New Zealand.
And I can get the link to that to put on the show notes.
You can totally get the link for that. So, I am a woman of a certain age. My daughter hates when I say that, but I just am. And people always ask me about my skincare. So we've been working on this for a year, trying everything out, making sure the formulas are right. And now,
so you're saying we can look like you if we use this skincare?
If you use that face oil and that serum, the cheekbones will just start to pop out a little bit more.
You're gonna get those Cynthia cheekbones.
No, I'm just kidding. But it's a great product. You guys have been asking me about it forever.
Yeah.
I wanted the right person and the right time to do it, and now it's out there. And then after you moisturize and put your face oil on, you can have yourself a nice little tequila shot of
Do you see how she does this? It's like bam, 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 bam.
She's the brand ambassador of the world.
Okay, you guys, thank you so much for being here. This was so much fun for me. I hope you had a good time. And
yes,
now
I have to go follow you.
We will talk to you very soon.